I'm back. So I'm here to start another reading vlog. I am doing a lot of readathons this month, so I'm trying to take this week to sort of catch up on them. So my focus for this reading vlog for the moment is going to be the magical readathon. I have a couple of prompts I need to finish, so I need to read. If you don't know what the magical readathon is, go check out Book Roast video. She explains it a lot better than me, but I am a mind walker, so I have to read a couple of books for a class, so I need to read 2 books that have the same word in the title. So I'm about 150 pages into Flirting with Fate by J.C. Cervantes, and I'm really liking it so far. So this is gonna be the book I'm gonna start this reading vlog with. I'm also listening to Emma, which really has nothing to do with this, but like I'm listening to that, so I hope to finish that today. And then the other book that has fate is A Rune It's Fate by Kaylee Smith. This one comes out much later in the year, but it has fate in the title. So these are gonna be the 2 books I'm gonna focus on, and then I have to read a secondhand book as well, and I have a couple of options for that. But basically my goal for this weekend is to finish these 2 books and make some progress on Stranger Things. But let's talk a little bit about Flirting with Fate. I was traveling yesterday, so I was able to read about 150 pages of this. But you follow this main character named Ava, and she her grandmother, when her grandmother passes away, she's able to pass on gifts to her grandchildren. And those gifts kind of help them in life. And Ava is late getting to her grandmother's bedside. She gets into an accident, and unfortunately her gift winds up passing to that person she gets into this accident with. It's set in California, so there's a fun setting for that, but I'm liking it. It's very, I wouldn't say it's mythology based, but I would say it's more like faith based. Like J.C. Cervantes' history is really, really coming in. I've read her previous mythology series, but this one has to do more with like angels and fates and saints and stuff like that, and I'm intrigued. So basically she has to try to get back her blessing so her grandmother does not wander the afterlife as a soul with no memories, which is very, very, very bad. So she has to try to get her gift back from this young man, and they have to sort of develop a relationship based on feelings so that she can kind of get her blessing back. But it's funny. I'm really, really liking it so far. So this is going to be my focus read for today. I'm going to read probably like another 50 pages as I'm finally catching up on Stranger Things. I finally caught up with my YouTube queue, which is super nice. So yeah, I'm going to go read this, kind of try to catch up. It's also super hot today, so I went up working out in the morning. I went for a bike ride. I did all that stuff. Late last night I stayed up late. I prepped all the stuff for my readathon challenge that I'm going to film tomorrow. I also got a new camera that I have to play with tomorrow, so a lot of stuff. I have to film like a bunch of stuff tomorrow, but today is just really, really hot. So I'm going to go back to reading, watch a little bit of Stranger Things, and when I read about 50 pages, I'll give you guys a more concise update. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 200 in Flirting with Fate by J.C. Cervantes. I'm really enjoying this book. It's a very, very, like, interesting read, and it's one that, like, I'm really liking. It has a lot of different elements. Hi, puppy. I'm back. I did wind up getting up to page 200 in Flirting with Faith by J.C. Cervantes. This book has a lot of elements that I'm really liking. It has sort of like a quest type element, I would say. Like she has to try to get her powers back. But then there's also the relationship she still has with her grandmother, and the saint, and then her sister dynamic. Because basically, if she doesn't get her gift back from this random boy, all her sisters lose their gifts. So that's a very interesting dynamic. And then her mom also left her when she was very, very little. So you still have subtle scenes where you kind of see their relationship. And the mom's sort of telling her a story about the complexities of fate, which I thought was very, very interesting. And then you also have, she is really doesn't believe in fate at all, or she used to not believe in fate. So there's a lot to this story, and I'm really enjoying it. Like it's quite a fast-paced and quick read, one that I'm really, really enjoying. But yeah, I'm curious how the romance possibility is going to develop, especially because for the first like 20 pages I thought it was a totally different love interest. But I'm enjoying it, so I'm gonna go back to reading. But yeah, I'm gonna go read. I might listen to a little bit more of Emma. But my real goal is to tackle the rest of this book today and watch a little bit more of Stranger Things. So I'm on episode 3 of season 3, and I will update you guys when I read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys an update on Stranger Things as well. Bye. And Lori here. I'm back. It's a much later. I did wind up finishing Emma by Jane Austen. It was the Audible original production, which had a lot of sound effects. Really, really cool. I really want to listen to more of the classics, and I think that's like a really good way to read them. I've never really read most of the only other one I read, I think I read Pride and Prejudice. Did I? I may have, yeah. I think I read Pride and Prejudice at some point. I would have to go look at Goodreads. But I really did like reading Emma. I think Emma is probably my favorite classic that I've ever read. I don't know if I've read Emma before. Maybe I haven't read Emma, but I've listened to enough like adaptations of Emma that like I thought it would be my favorite, and so far I definitely prefer it to Pride and Prejudice. I'm about 250 pages into Flirting with Fate. I'm really liking it. It's a very, very twisty, turny story, and it's like whenever you think you figured something out, you get more information. I really like the sister dynamics in the story as well. I just think it's a great read. Like I've always loved J.C. Cervantes' writing style. She also writes the Stormrunner series that deals with Mayan mythology. This has to do with like saints and ghosts and stuff like that. And it's all about like destinies and fate. And our main character, is very, very like adamant that fate does not exist. But clearly, something is going on because she's seeing her grandmother's ghost, and she has a blessing she's trying to get back from this young man. It's a very, very fun contemporary, but it also has a lot of heartwarming moments. There's also a lot of talk about grief and like dealing with the abandonment of a parent because her mom left her when she was younger. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the story, but I'm never bored by it. It's very, very interesting, and I really do like the main character quite a bit. So I'm gonna go reading. I'm gonna do sprints on Novel Life's channel. So they always read very, very dark romances, and I'm always the weird one that's reading young adult or middle grade, but to each their own. So hopefully they don't mind me popping up. My puppy is not behaving because my dad went to work, so she might stay in her cage until my mom gets home. I'm watching Stranger Things. My plan was to finish it today. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I did set up my camera, which is good, so I can do that tomorrow. So I'm gonna go back to reading. I'll talk to you guys when I read another like 50 pages in an ideal world. Bye, friends. Hey, friends. I'm back for another update. I did wind up getting up to chapter 31, but 300 pages in to Flirting with Fate by J.C. Cervantes. I'm really enjoying this book. I think that these books contemporary books always have like a third act breakup. But like this book is very different because the characters are more just like friends throughout this whole thing. So like it really isn't even going, like I feel like it could go as a romance. But like right now it feels very much like a friendship and her trying to get this curse back. There's a lot of secrecy about Orion's character because you're not in his head, so a lot of this stuff seems a little bit suspicious, but that's just because like you're not really in his head and you have no concept for him, especially because him and Ava didn't know each other before the situation, so like she doesn't really even know Orion that well. But I'm really curious like how this story is gonna wrap up, if it's gonna turn into a romance or if it's gonna be more of a contemporary with like magical elements. But I'm really enjoying it. It's really not magic per se, it's more like fate. They do talk about saints. Religion is referenced in this book a lot, like church and confession and saints and angels and ghosts. So it's not really mythology, I would say, like her Mayan series. It's more like fate and church and that stuff, which I think is very interesting. I don't really think I've read a book about that before, so interesting take on it. It's very interesting. I'm enjoying it. It's a very, very quick read. I really like the dynamics between Ava and her sisters, especially because her mom isn't really in the picture much. But even though her grandmother is a ghost, they still do have a very, very strong relationship. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to read another 50 pages tonight and watch another episode of Stranger Things. But if I do that, I'll update you. If I don't update you, I'll update you guys tomorrow. But the goal is to read another 50 pages, so we'll see. Bye, friends. Hi, friends. I'm back. It was a very, very long morning. It's Friday, the 26th. I am so frustrated. I bought a new camera. My mom got me for a birthday present, and I don't think it's going to do what I needed to do, and now I really don't know what to do. I was trying to make the content and the look of these videos better, and I don't know. I don't know if my mom returned it. I don't know if I should go back and get it. I'm like so freaking confused. Oh, so I don't know. I'm a little bit frustrated because I've been trying to like up my content and up how stuff looks here, and I don't know, I'm just a little bit frustrated because I'm really not a technology person. Like, it's not my thing. But I've been doing YouTube this way for like 7 years, and I just want to make stuff a little bit better and a little bit easier. So I want to vlog a little bit more and give you guys some better content. So I don't know, I'm just a little bit frustrated. I was planning on filming today, and now I don't know what I'm in the mood to do. So I don't know. I might still film the videos I had to. I have to film today anyway, but the whole camera thing really threw me off a bunch of my pieces. So I don't know what to do. I'm just a little bit frustrated. Hopefully I'll come back with some better news, but that's where we are right now. Better news. I did wind up going to an actual camera store, which I highly recommend. And I did wind up getting a new camera, which had the one requirement I really wanted, where I could turn my film around so I could see myself when I'm chatting with you all. If you guys don't know, I've been filming on my computer this whole time. So yeah, I've been filming on my computer this whole time, so it's probably why the content looks a little bit weird, but this is what I'm going to try to use for when I'm doing a lot of like my sit down videos, and I also have a big tripod and stuff like that too, so I think it will be better content. I'm excited though to like try this out. I did wind up filming a couple of videos. I filmed just a couple of videos, and I batched film for Instagram and TikTok because I'm going back to school in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to prep that stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to play around with this tomorrow and see how it works. I literally didn't film anything for next week because that's where my wrap up, my announcement video, and then my TBR comes in. Going back to school is always like a game changer. But my plan for today is to sit back, relax, and finish Flirting with Fate. I was listening to an audiobook, which I am liking. It's a historical, but I feel like I should probably restart it and listen to it again because I was very, very frustrated when I was listening to it, and I don't think I got the enjoyment out of it as I wanted. But yeah, my goal for today is to also finish Stranger Things and finish this. I am on page 300, so I have about 80 pages left. I will definitely be able to finish this tonight. My goal is to finish watching Stranger Things and also to catch up on my YouTube queue. So that is the plan for tonight. Watch Stranger Things season 3, finish Flirting with Fate, catch up on my YouTube queue. That is the plan. Yeah. So I'm gonna hope that they don't drop a Nexus event in the next 3 hours. Yeah. So pizza's coming. My puppy is exhausted. I filmed a bunch of videos. So yeah. I'm ready to relax, enjoy my last official weekend of summer, because next weekend we start the rigmarole of going back to work. So, but I'm going to go read for a little bit until the pizza arrives. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Back. So, I have a couple of updates. I just wound up finishing Flirting with Fate by J.C. Cervantes. This was a 5-star read prediction for me, and I loved it. I really, really liked it. I think it was just a really interesting story about the complexities of fate and, like, how fate works. And like, I'm very much someone that does believe in fate. I think fate is like a very, very fickle thing, but I do believe that some elements just seem like they exist for a reason. So this book was really interesting because you have two characters who are so like the opposite. Like Ava does not believe in fate for a lot of reasons, and then you have her partner in crime who does, and it's just a very, very interesting story. I really liked how they came together. I liked how, you know, the gods and the fates were sort of working with it. It was a really interesting story and like a very different take on mythology. Like, I've read J.C. Cervantes' other books about Mayan mythology, but this was very, very different. I also really enjoyed the sister dynamics in the story, like, quite a bit. I gave it 5 stars. I really, really loved it, and I really hope to go back and finish her middle grade series soon, because that is the one that I need to finish. But I really like this and gave it 5 stars. Then, this is a pleasant surprise, because I was really hesitant to go into this audiobook, but I picked up The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Here's a photo, because you probably will see this cover everywhere, but I have some thoughts, and they're very different than what I was expecting. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and I really, really hated that book. I did not feel that connected to the characters. I hate Reddit. I just did not like the characters. It was a very, very fast-paced read and like super compelling. That's why I gave it like 3 stars, but I hated all the characters. So when I heard this book was coming out, I was like, oh my goodness. But the premise sounded so good, and I was just like, oh my goodness, if I read this and I don't like it, like, what's gonna happen. Like, obviously nothing, but I just really wanted to like it. And I've listened to like 2 hours of the audiobook, and oh my goodness, I'm really in it to win it. I know there's a lot more. Like, I read the summary, but what I know so far is you're following this main character, and she is listening to a podcast, and she finds out her former college roommate died in a suicide. But this podcast, this person she knew, is running this podcast, doesn't think it's a suicide, and she sort of started to uncover what happened in the past. And like she went back to her college, and her college sounds so much like the college I went to. I know it has to do with like a sex cult, which is very reminiscent of Nexium. I'm really intrigued, and I really like the main character, so maybe that's something different. But yeah, I hope I hope we'll get to finish that today, and I have to again restart my Lisa Caiaphas book. So yeah, again I have to restart it. So yeah, I like read 2 hours and I have no idea what's happening. So I might just see if I can read it physically. Maybe I'll do that. So that's the hope. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I have to read Aruna's Fate by Kaylee Smith, because they both have fate in the title, and I deviated from my TBR too much the early month. So the only problem is this book doesn't come out until January, so I don't know if I should put the footage in this vlog or if I should wait. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna start filming, and then if I decide to like put it in a later vlog, like in closer to January, I will just cut the footage, and this vlog will just be the rest of the magical readathon. But hopefully, I don't know. I'm still debating, because it really does come out like super early, and I don't know how you guys feel about having footage that early. So I voted in my Instagram. If you guys want to be a part of my polls, follow me on Instagram, because that's where I do like my questioning, and because I don't have a community page yet. Maybe one day, we'll see. But yeah, my goal is to watch a little bit of Stranger Things, read a little bit more of this, and see how much progress I make. I know it's witchy, it's 400 pages, but the font is like really, really big, so maybe I can fly through it. We'll see. But I'm going to watch a little bit of Stranger Things, read a little bit of this, and when I get to the end of my episode, I'll give you guys an update and tell you guys like if I'm going to do it in this vlog or the other vlog. We'll see. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I didn't wind up doing anything last night because I wanted to see, well, I mean, I watched some random clips, and I'm going to stop doing that because I need to actually watch what I have to watch. I am going to finish Stranger Things today. If it kills me, I will. But I did wind up last night just prepping to read this. The poll I got said that they wanted me to put the footage in now. Again, it's not that big of a poll, but it will probably be easier. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to probably reread it in January. So maybe I'll get the audiobook. But it sounds perfect. It sounds like a great fall read. So I have my tabs. I also did read another like hour of The Last Housewife by Ashley Winston. I'm really enjoying it. We're getting to the crux of the story. I know Peace Love Buck says she's like worried it's not going to be a HEA, and I know that in my dreams I hold and I've had an HEA, so I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, because she is married, but I really like the guy she's working with, and I also like true crime podcasts. But really, really good. I'm definitely liking it a lot more than In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which might be a controversial opinion. We will see. But yeah, I'm going to grab some lunch. My puppy is sleeping. I'm going to try to put some B-roll of her in throughout this reading vlog, because you really haven't seen her. You've seen her a little bit, but like now that I actually have a camera, I can show you. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you've probably seen her a lot more, but she's very, very cute. Very, very devious, but she's very, very cute. So yeah, I'm going to go start Aruna's Fate, finish watching Stranger Things, and when I read like 50 pages or when I get up to a new episode of Stranger Things, I'll definitely give you guys another update. But we can just admire this cover for a moment because it's so pretty. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Hi, friends. I'm back. So it is about 9:30. I wound up watching the whole, most of Stranger Things Season 3 today. So that is why I was a little bit MIA in my updates. But I also was able to read 100 pages of Aruna's Fate by Kaylee Smith. I still feel like I'm getting the bare bones of a story. But again, I always say this. First book in a series. A debut. A lot of world building needs to happen, and where the audience or the reader is not learning the magic system along with the character, which I always find to be the most challenging way to tell a story. I'm really liking the way she's telling the story, but I always just feel like the characters I really, really like right off the bat. Plot, I think, is super interesting. The world building is interesting, but I just feel like I'm missing key information, and I feel like in the next 300 pages I'll probably get a lot more, so I am really enjoying it. I'm liking the characters, I'm liking the witches. I don't read enough witch stories, and I always say that like I miss witch stories quite a bit, so, but I have a feeling there will be some romance on the horizon and a quest type element in the story. So yeah, I'm really excited to keep reading. I'm going to try to catch up on my YouTube queue tonight and see how far I get so I can start season 4 tomorrow. That's the plan. But I don't want to fall too far behind on my YouTube queue because that's the problem I had all summer. I spent the whole summer trying to catch up and I didn't really watch anything else but YouTube content. So trying to have a balance with my content. So I'm going to go read another 50 pages hopefully. And if not, I'll update you guys tomorrow. But hopefully by like the next 100 pages, I'll get a bunch more information about this and I can give you guys a more concise update. But I just could tell you, I really, really like the characters. The plot is moving very, very quickly. World building stuff, I feel like I just need a little bit more information to flesh out the world for me a little bit. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it so far. So talk to you guys in a little bit. I'm back. Sorry for the weird angle, but I am trying to soak up the summer days that I can because soon it will be frigid cold and I can't do anything outside. So that is the plan. Sorry for the weird lighting. I do apologize. But I did wind up getting up to page 150 in Aruna's Fate by Kaylee Smith. I feel like this is where the book sort of took its stride. And I felt like the first 150 pages really were world building, and especially because you are not like the characters, so you are going into a world totally blind. The characters know everything. It is a little bit of a confusing start to a book, but I feel like she's doing a very, very good job. It's a very, very simplistic writing style, but I am liking it. It's not like overly flowery. It's not overly descriptive. But I will say it took like 150 pages to sort of understand all the elements of the story, and there are a lot of elements. And again, this is a super early arc. I'm sure editing will occur in the next 6 months, so this may not be the final book, but from the book I'm reading, I think it's a very, very simplistic writing style, but one that I think is doing it well because there's a lot of elements to the story that need to be told. But you follow this main character named Calliope, and she is a witch. And the part that I don't really understand is that every single time a witch's die come into your path, you have to roll it. And if you get a certain number of 6s, you are considered the Blood Warrior. And when you're the Blood Warrior, you sort of bring about the next Fate's War. And she is very, very close to being that. So she's sort of been kicked out of her, coven, and she's sort of living on her own. And there is a price on her head from one of the witch queens. And then the other point of view character is Ezra. Actually, there's a lot of point of view characters, to be honest. And that's like the one part that's a little bit confusing because you have a lot of main characters and you're not really sure whose head you're in. He was her ex, and that he is basically supposed to bring her to the Fate Queen. And then there was also another power that Calla has that is like she could suck magic from people, and that's bad because when people do that, they see her as a monster, and she even sees herself as a monster. But there's a quest out there. There's a quest that's being introduced that may be able to remove her of this fate to be the Blood Warrior, and they're going on a quest in a dark and dangerous forest. Yes. Sorry, my dog just stole my shoes. All right, but so that's where we are right now. I've read 150 pages. We're finally about to get into the quest. So I am going to go tackle a little bit more of this, and when I read about 50 more pages, I will give you guys an update. I will say that the romance in this book is a little bit wish-washy at the moment. Like, I don't know who Calliope is going to go for. It could be between a couple of different characters, so I'm intrigued to figure out what is going on with that, but I'm going to go back to reading, and yeah, I'm very excited for the dark and creepy forest, so let's get reading. Bye, friends. I think the lighting is a little bit better because I switched sides. The puppy was outside before and I had to watch her, but I did want to say they did drop a Nexus event, so ironically, it's the book I can read is actually perfect because I have to read a book with colors. Gold or green on the cover, which this book has both, and I'm about 50% into this book, and I'm just really enjoying it. I think the one thing that is really compelling me forward is the random group of characters that are sort of assorted to work together, and some of them like are friends. Like, you have 3 friends and you have 2 brothers. There's a lot of romantic entanglements. A lot of unexpected romantic entanglements. I do like the world. Again, I said like earlier, like I think this world will be very, very rich because it has a lot of different creatures and characters, and like the quest elements meets like a lot of other stuff, and then there's the romantic entanglements that Kala has with both potential brothers, which I think is super interesting. And I really do love the relationship that all the girls have, like sister, like a sister dynamic. I'm just really intrigued. I'm going to keep reading. I have until 8 o'clock to read 200 pages, which I think is doable. So I'm going to update you guys when I get up to page 300. Unless like I feel like something comes up that I really need to talk about. But so far, I'm really liking it and happy that I picked it up so early. So as you can see, when I like a book, I do tab the hell out of it. So I'm going to go back to reading and watch Monica Kim's reading vlog and do reading sprints so I can get more points for this. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Back in another angle. This boss battle dropped, and I literally have in like 2 hours to finish. Like 100 pages, 250, 350. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I really don't. But I really am liking this. I love when books use dreams. I just think dreams are a really interesting like storytelling element. And I'm really loving the characters. This is definitely a character-led story, I will say that. And it reminds me a lot of the dynamics that I read in Six of Crows, and like when characters are sort of forced to work together, and there's history there, and there's new dynamics, and it's just a very like fun cast of characters. And I think that the way that Kaylee has written this story, all of the characters have the potentiality to be with multiple people romantically, so I really do like that. Like, you have, like, obviously, like, who the characters should be with or who their feelings with. But emotions get complicated in high-stakes situations. I also really do like the forest in this story. It's very, very eerie and very, very creepy. It reminds me a little bit of the Ashley Poston book that I read and the Lori M. Lee one that I read that has, like, a haunted forest. But I'm really enjoying it. I think the characters are definitely the standout for me. Again, there is a lot of point of view characters, and the point of view does switch a little bit. So I wonder if in final books they would have like all like maybe like titles saying what point of view character you're in. That's the only thing that like you sometimes have to remind yourself whose point of view you're in, because they can be a little bit similar, especially because you have like 4 boy characters and 4 girls, and those are just they live very, very similar experiences, except for Calliope, whose experience is pretty different. But you also are like learning more about other characters. I'm really interested in Hannah in this story. She's a witch that you don't know a lot about. But yeah, so I think I have to go feed the puppy. She might be getting hungry. My goal is to finish this tonight, and then do some like errandy stuff tonight. But I would like to finish this tonight, and then I don't know. I have a few things I have to get done today. I really wanted to finish the magical readathon tonight, which is this, and read another book. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but I'm gonna go try to feed the puppy, and then I will come back and we will chat once I read another 50 pages. If I can get up to 300, and then we'll chat and we'll see the time frame. If I don't finish it, it's okay by 8 o'clock. That's like not the. Maybe it's 7 o'clock? What time is it? I have to look at my thing. I didn't look at it recently. But I do have a video idea for you guys that I do want to do as well, like a reading vlog idea. So I want to also like get that set too. So I have like a bunch of stuff I would like to get done. Again, this is going to be like the week of catching up and everything. Okay, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So I have 1 more hour than I thought, which is good. So I'm going to go feed the puppy, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I just want to say that I wound up getting up to page 300 in Arena's Fate by Kaylee Smith. I have about an hour left, a little bit more than an hour before I have to finish this. So I'm going to try my hardest to just power through and finish the rest of this with the boss battle. Yeah, but I am enjoying it. I think the story is definitely very, very character driven. I really am liking the setting. I'm liking how the characters are all interacting with each other. But yeah, I better get back to reading because I want to have as much time as I can. So yeah, I'm going to go tackle the rest of this, and I'll update you guys when I'm done, or when the boss battle is over, because the boss battle is over, so I'm probably going to finish this tomorrow, but I'm off. Bye, friends. Well, I decided to stop rushing. Again, it is okay if I don't finish every single Nexus event, and again, I'm realizing this is a group battle, so as long as we save all them, it will be fine. I'm not the only person reading, and I don't want to rush this book because I am really enjoying it. So take a lesson from me. Don't rush your reading. It's not worth it. Reading challenges are fun, but they're not a be-all end-all. You can see I'm really liking it because I'm tabbing the hell out of it, which I'm really, really loving. My tabbing doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's okay. I really am just going to try to do favorite quotes for now on, but I've just been doing like phrases that also like me, and that's why I tab so much and why I go through tabs like crazy. But I am really, really liking this book quite a bit. Like, it's very, very fun. I think the character dynamics are great as well. And I just think that, like, all the characters, like, there's 3 boys and there's 3 girls, and I just think their dynamics are really, really fun. I think the world is super fun as well. Like, it's a very, very rich world of a lot of different types of characters. We finally also got one of my favorite characters' point of views in this story, and she's a little bit, like hidden from a lot of the point of view. Like, you don't see a lot of her a little bit, but I think it's important because something big happened and she's kind of coming to the forefront, and I really like her as a main character. But these characters are dealing with a lot, and I think though between the rich world and the plot and the characters, it's such a rich story, and I'm actually really excited to see where this book ends and where book 2 goes, because I think this book could just keep going and this series could be super rich. It really does give me Mortal Instruments vibes, but with witches at the heart of it. So I'm really, really liking it. I'm going to try to read another like 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys another check-in. Bye, friends. I don't cry when I read books, but I will admit this book made me come super close to tears. This is definitely going to be a 5-star read. Like, I really enjoyed this. I actually can't wait to reread this early next year, which I definitely will. I tabbed the crap out of this book. But oh my goodness, it was just really, really good. I think it was a very, very unique read, and I think the first like 50 pages, 100 pages took a little bit of adjusting, but I feel like this series will really get better like as it goes on. I think that there was a lot of characters in this story, and I think that that was the only reason that it would be a little bit lower, maybe like a 4.5 stars, but I would probably round it up to 5 on Goodreads. And it will probably be a 5 in my 5-star reproduction. But I just loved all the characters, and I just thought it was a very, very character-driven story. I'm so sad this is coming out in January because I think it would make a great fall read, like a perfect fall read. It has witchy elements, but there's also a lot of different other characters involved. There is a plot, I will say that. Like, there's a lot happening in the story, but it very much is a character-led book. And I feel like the characters in this story just are really, really compelling and really, really fascinating. There is definitely a unique romance afoot. There is a lot of romance. There's also some different types of relationships in this story. There's a very, very strong brother relationship, and then there's a very, very fun sister dynamic of the 3 girls. I really, really love this. I'm definitely going to keep my copy and probably reread it in 2023 when it does come out, because I would like to reread it. And I'm sure this book will get edited as well, so I'd like to read the final copy, because again, this is like comes out in 6 months, so it's entirely possible this book will get edited. But I really enjoyed it. So I plan to start a new reading vlog tomorrow, but I have to finish another book for the Magical Readathon, which I'm going to pick up. I have to read a book that's borrowed or secondhand. And someone in my Discord group said that I can read an ebook or like a book from the library. So I'm going to pick up Battle Royale, which is a graphic novel by Leslie Adams. I do not know how long it is. I think it's 272 pages. I love to read them on my Kindle because I can like make the font really, really cool. But this is like, I literally have been waiting 6 weeks for this. So I'm going to go read this very, very quickly, and then I'll report back to you guys. But it has to do with baking, and I love treats. I will say that. So I'm going to go read this, finish my YouTube queue, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done. But I'm super excited to dive in. Again, I saw the cover and I was like, oh my god, that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna go read this. I'll update you guys when I can, when I'm probably done with it, and hopefully my YouTube queue will be done. So tomorrow I can start the work of filming some stuff, which is what I was trying to do. So sadly I did not finish the Nexus event. That is okay. But I did finish a book. So I'll go read this, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back about like a day later. I didn't wind up vlogging on Monday because I was out and about. I cleaned the second half of the day, and I just didn't wind up vlogging. But I did wind up finishing Battle Royale, which is a graphic novel that was really, really cute. Like, I really, really found it adorable. It had really, really fun elements. The art style was super cute as well, and I just really enjoyed it. So in this reading vlog, oh, you might have an addition, my puppy. But I finished reading The Ruinous Fate, I started reading The Last Housewife, and then I finished reading Battle Royale. So yeah, I'm gonna go start my next reading vlog, which is gonna be like a wrapping up summer, getting ready for fall reading vlog. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon for my next video. Comment below what is your current book that you're really, really enjoying. For me, it was definitely Ruinous Fate. Definitely the highlight of this reading vlog, and I'll talk to you guys for my next video. Bye, friends.